Hi, Nick.
Hello, Adam. I like your shirt.
Thank you. It says, for those listening online, celebrate creativity.
And it has an outline of the state of Iowa.
Because we are very creative in this state, right?
Yes.
I got this shirt at the Des Moines Arts Festival, which is like one of the largest outdoor arts festivals in the country.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Artists from far and wide come and set up tents.
Oh, wow.
In downtown Des Moines in the heat of summer. It's absolutely bananas. But they sell like a vast amount of art while they're there. And a lot of these people are, their artwork is $2,000 to $10,000 a piece. So.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a lot of art collectors in the Midwest.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thank you for the comments, Eric. I like your shirt.
It's a blue V-neck.
It's light blue. It's very, very pretty. Today we're talking about a book that I read years ago, but I want to bring back into the forefront. It is called Creating Wealth. It is by a guy named Robert G. Allen. He wrote a book called Nothing Down and another book called Multiple Streams of Income. And I think I mentioned this on another show, but it was Robert Allen and a guy named Mark Victor Hansen, who I first heard them say, to create wealth, you need to have massive, passive, permanent streams of income. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a critical book then. People need to pay attention.
It is. It is a critical book. The subtitle of the book is Retire in 10 Years. Retire in 10 years using Allen's 7 principles of wealth. So we are going to talk through some of the principles today. I think it was kind of interesting, and I want to get your take on some of these.
Yeah.
Because he's really all about leverage, and how to use leverage, particularly in real estate.
Yeah.
So ask me some questions. What do you want to know?
What was your biggest takeaway? First of all, how did you come across Robert Allen and creating wealth and his approach?
Yeah. So when I was, in my early 20s, and I was intrigued about real estate, I was reading everything that I could find on the topic. And someone said, you really need to read Creating Wealth. And so I read Creating Wealth. I looked up Robert Allen. He was actually doing a couple of live events. And so I went and attended one of his live events. And obviously bought more books and learned from the man himself. And it was really fascinating, his take on how to buy real estate.
Yeah.
So he actually did the Nothing Down challenge. He made this announcement on the radio and said he could take anyone in any city, anywhere in America, and show them how to buy properties at no money down, nothing down, and turn them into a millionaire within like 5 years. So someone had challenged him on this.
Yeah.
And they took him to, and I can't remember what city he was in, but they pulled some guy out of, it was a homeless guy out of a food pantry line. And he said, can you teach this guy how to buy properties at no money down?
Yeah.
And he did it.
Wow.
And like 6 months later, the guy owned 2 or 3 properties and was living in a home and so on and so forth.
Wow.
So I was introduced to him early on, but I was not quite in real estate yet. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Quite a challenge.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. One of the things that he says in the book, though, that I took right to heart and started looking at was that you can actually buy discounted properties, and that's what you need to be looking for, either distressed or discounted.
Okay. As in just like under market value real estate? Is that what you're talking about?
Could be under market real estate. It could be somebody that got in over their head.
Okay.
And typically, he said, we're looking for people who have some equity in the home, but people that really need to get out of their home quickly.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if you've noticed, but you could drive through a neighborhood and spot which homes are near foreclosure.
How is that? Just it's not being well kept?
Not well kept, the yard's overgrown,
yeah.
The windows are dirty.
Yeah.
You can just tell generally, right? Papers have piled up maybe out in the driveway.
Yeah.
And he said, those are the properties we're going to go look for. And then we're going to make an offer to either the bank that owns it or to the person that owns it before it goes into foreclosure to save them from that kind of, those, marks on their credit report.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's creating wealth, and it's also helping people who may not be in a financial situation to continue saving themselves.
Yes.
Or
yes.
something like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I first read the book and I listened to him present, there was a part of me that thought we're taking advantage of people. Like he's literally going out and trying to find those that are under some hardship and then taking advantage.
Yep.
And he said 9 times out of 10, the deals that he would take on, people were really happy to get out from under the house, even if they left $20 or $30 or $40,000 in equity.
Yeah.
Because they weren't looking at that equity anyway. There was no way they were going to sell it. A bank was going to come in and repo it before they'd ever get to that point.
Yep.
And they couldn't survive the 3 or 6 or however many months to get it sold.
Yeah.
So in the end, he was talking about, distressed properties and finding those distressed properties.
Yeah. Ah,
Yep.
Gotcha. Multiple outcomes.
That's right.
Multiple incomes.
Ooh, very tricky. So in Creating Wealth, Robert Allen also talks about, using leverage in terms of mortgages. And he makes the comment that it's very easy to borrow money. It's not always easy to pay that money back. And I thought that was fascinating at the time because I had no experience in going out and borrowing lots of money. And then as I started digging into what that process looks like, it actually is relatively easy to go out and find a property, go to a bank, apply for financing, and get it.
Yeah.
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 And at the time, in the early 2000s, you could literally get an 80% loan, a first loan, and a 20% loan as a second loan. So 100% no money down loans. Today, a little bit more challenging, but you can definitely buy properties at 3.5% to 5% down. So same kind of deal, very simple to do.
Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, very
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. Now, can you touch a little bit on, prior to this episode, you were talking about discounted mortgages.
Yes.
Right. And how he would actually, that process, using that and as a way of creating wealth.
Yes.
I think that's, I think as an individual who is not a business owner or entrepreneur,
Right.
that can be a very new concept in terms of how to create wealth.
Yep.
In terms of how much money is actually made in the loaning aspect or mortgage industry.
Right.
Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so he was saying that what he may end up doing for people who said, hey, I have a chunk of money, but I don't want to own real estate. So I don't want to actually actively manage properties, but I do want to be in the real estate game. He suggested potentially even creating the ability to loan money out. So as an example, if someone's going to buy a $200,000 property and you create a mortgage on that property for them, essentially loan someone the money to buy it, and those folks are paying you $200,000 at 5% interest, right? So the mortgage payment would be around $1,000 or $1,100 a month over 30 years. And the way it was set up is that someone like Robert Allen might own title to the property, or the owner would have title to the property, but he would have rights to the property if the person did not pay that mortgage payment. So out of $1,100 monthly payment, about, let's say, $850 of that is interest, and the rest goes to principal. But that means that on an annual basis, $10,000 is coming in income,
Yep.
right, on that property, just in interest on the mortgage. So in effect, still making income on the property, in effect, but does not have to deal with the ownership of the property itself.
Yeah.
Unless the homeowner stops making the payments.
Yeah. Massive, passive, permanent
Streams. That's right. Yep.
right.
He also talks about other avenues, and there's 2 more we'll cover today on the show. The first one's very simple. He made a point to invest in precious metals like gold and silver when the price went down. So he talked about it's a long-term play, you're holding it for a long time, but the profitability of gold coins, as an example, went up significantly over time when you bought it at the right price point. So when you see prices plummet on gold, which is generally speaking when the stock market's doing really well, and you buy gold then when the stock market goes down and gold goes up, you sell it at that point. Same thing with silver. And last but not least, he talked about having businesses and effectively becoming a limited partner in certain people's businesses.
Okay.
And the reason behind that is that massive passive permanent stream of income. It's great to get 5% or 10% of the profit of a company, but not having to actively manage that property
Yeah.
or company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. That's great.
Cool.
When was this book written?
This book, I know it's been republished a couple times, but its original published date, this one in particular, was 1986.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. But if you are looking for, and granted, there's probably a ton more real estate books that are out there now that are much more, up to date and current. But this is a great book to go back to get some of the basics in terms of creating wealth. Robert Allen, Creating Wealth. Check
And
it
the
out.
source of the massive passive permanent
streams of income. Yes, we do credit him for that.
That's awesome.
Cool. Very good. Our challenge to you is, whether it's this book or another book on real estate investing, if that's what's important to you, go check it out. The goal should be to read at least one book on finances per year, at least one. And if you're really adventuresome, get 2 or 3, or maybe one a month.
One of mine.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.